Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope you guys are having a great Thursday. It's been another fun day in the markets today, so we're going to take a look at what's going on there. S&P, Dow, and NASDAQ were both down. Unfortunately, Bitcoin and Ethereum were up, so that was great. But the miners, they were also kind of a mixed bag today. Some were down, some were up, but a majority of them were up at least today. So we'll take a look at all that. And we only have one story today, so it's going to be a quick and easy video for you guys. Cleanspark growth continues. They reported they're going to be getting to about 8 something exahash by possibly the middle of the year with a 50 megawatt expansion. So halfway to 16 exahash in 2023. I think that's great news. We'll look at how long it's going to take them to possibly break even on that, including the site that they're building up, but we'll look at all that. And as always, not financial advice, for entertainment only. Do your own research, please. And I'm investing in the following coins and companies for full disclosure. So let's take a look at the markets here. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out. Okay, so here are the markets. S&P was down 0.76% today to 3,898. Dow Jones was down 0.76% to 33,044. And the NASDAQ was down 1% to 11,295. Bitcoin, however, was up today. Excuse me. It was up 1.98% to a close of 21,084. We hit a high of 21,197 and a low of 20,656. So the market started out towards the bottom today. They did rebound a little bit afterwards, but we'll take a look at it on the 4-hour chart. Bitcoin RSI is right now at 59, so we're still in pretty good territory there. Last time we were right about here, so we were, looks like a little bit, a little bit lower in price in the 4-hour chart, so that's kind of looking okay there. On the 1-hour chart, there's a little bit of a different story here. RSI is now at 59 also. Last time we were here, it was back up here. Price was higher at that point, so I'm a little leery right now as far as which direction Bitcoin's going to go based on the 1-hour chart. Right now, I'm thinking we may kind of come down a little bit more in price, but we'll see if that actually happens. It's kind of what my intuition is telling me right now. Ethereum, let's take a look at that one as well. On the daily, it was up today 2.66% to a close of 1,550, a low of 1,508, and a high of 1,564. Okay. That one is, let's take a look at the RSI. RSI on the 4-hour right now is at 53. Last time we were back here, price was a little bit lower at that point right now. So on the 4-hour, we're still looking okay. On the 1-hour, same thing that it's doing as Bitcoin. It's at 57 right now. Last time we were back here, price was higher at that point. So like I said, I'm a little bit leery right now as far as the direction of Bitcoin. I think it's going to fall down along with Ethereum a little bit, potentially. We'll see where it ends up at. Okay, and that's it for the markets, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's take a look at the miners here. So Annie today was up 8% to 39 cents. Argo was up 3.61% to $1.72. Bit Digital was down 1.63% to $1.21. Bitfarm was up today 13.54% to $1.09. And Cleanspark was down 1.58% to $2.49, even though I thought it was pretty good news that it came out. So we'll see how it reacts going forward. Core Scientific was up 11.68 to 9 cents. DigiHost was down 7.63% to $1.09. DigiHost was down. DMG was up today 10.94% to 22 cents. Greenidge was up 14.18% to 88 cents. Hive was up 2.12% to $2.89. Hut 8 was up 9.93% to $1.66. Iris Energy was down 2.6% to $1.87. Marathon was up 6.22% to $7.34. Mawson was down 4.15% to 38 cents. Riot was up 1.23% to 5.78. And Solana was down 1.86% to 42 cents. And finally, TeraWolf was down 7.19% to 83 cents. Okay. So like I said, it was kind of a mixed bag today on the miners. Surprisingly, Bitcoin was up, Ethereum was up, but some of the miners did not actually finish up on the day. Okay. Take a look at the network hash rate really quick. We have reached a new 7-day average high on it. We are now at approximately 274 million terahashes per second on the 7-day average. That is the new high that we have reached. Previous high was at 273 million on it. So hash rate has continued to get installed and it is increasing. We still haven't reached our peak here that we have on the 1-day chart. Our peak was reached back in October. We reached 316 million for a daily peak. We are currently sitting at 270 million right now on the daily. This is from yesterday. Okay, so the trend is going to be going up, I believe, going forward. We still have quite a bit of miners that need to get installed from Marathon, from Riot, some others as well. So I believe hash rate is going to be going up. And plus the miners we don't cover, they're probably installing hash rate or installing miners as well. So it's going to going to keep going up. Okay, so that's it. Let's take a look at the story from Cleanspark, and we'll take a look at how long it would possibly take them to break even, and what it would cost them total. So Cleanspark announced today that they're breaking ground on a 50 megawatt Bitcoin mining expansion, the nearly 16 million expansion, which with projected completion in late spring. So we're not too far away from that. We're only maybe 4 or 5 months away from it. Would be good. We'll hold approximately 16,000 miners and cements Cleanspark's position among North America's top Bitcoin miners. Once completed, the company's hash rate is expected to reach as high as 8.7 exahash. That all depends on which miners they get. Okay, so Cleanspark announced today that it has started construction on the second phase of one of its newest sites in Washington, Georgia. Upon completion, the new phase, which is expected to employ only the newest generation of Bitcoin mining machines, will add up to 2.2 exahash per second of computing power to the company's mining capacity. The mining machines fleet at the new phase will consist of Antminer S19J Pros and Antminer S19 XP models, the newest and most power-efficient models of Bitcoin mining machines available today. Depending on the final number of each model in the mix, the total computing power that will be added to Cleanspark Bitcoin mining capacity will range from 1.6 to 2.2 exahash, a 25 to 34% increase from its current hash rate of 6.5. Okay, so this is actually really good news. They did state that their goal for 2023 is to get to 16 exahash, but they're possibly going to try to get more than that, like they did this year. We'll see if they're able to pull off on that. This is going to help them tremendously to get to that with the 50 megawatts. And they're only going to be they're going to be about halfway there for 2023 if they can get this. Then they still have to work on getting another possibly, what is that? If they're adding 50 megawatts and getting about 2 exahash out of it, let's just say they would need to add another 4 times that. So that would be, 200 megawatts they need to add on potentially someplace, whether it's buying a site, building out a site, or if they go with the hosting, they would have to have that much to grow, depending on which miners they get. Okay, so I ran some numbers on them. Let's take a look at the numbers that I ran on it, and we'll go over it here really quick. We won't dive too deep into it. There are some assumptions here. So the assumption is that Bitcoin, current price is about 20,500, we're just going with that. Total current network hash rate is at 270 million right now. And we're using, for them, it's going to be actually on the 5 cents. I believe they're pretty close to the 5 cents mark here for electricity. So we'll use that, but we have all the numbers plugged in here. Now, as far as the miners are concerned, I don't know where they're going to be purchasing those, but if they're purchasing, they're going to have about, okay, let me step back here a little bit. This is getting a little too complicated even for my own head. So I'm guessing that they're going to have a mix of the 100 terahash miners and the 140 terahash miners, which are the S19J Pros and the S19 XPs. Based on that, if they do a 50-50 mix, we're looking at approximately 120 terahash on average for those miners. Okay, so I did that. I multiplied that times the 16,000 miners that they said they're going to get. That gets us to a 1,920 terahash setup for that facility. Watts is also being calculated the same on that. I'm using 2,950 times the 16,000 miners, and that's what we're getting it for the watts, 47.2 watts, 47.2 million on that one. Okay, and as far as the price is concerned, right now the miners are pretty low. I don't know if they're going to be able to get $15 on average for not only the XPs but the S19JPs. I'm thinking more, maybe closer to $18. And then if we take the 16 million that it's going to take them to build out the 50 megawatts, we're looking to add another potentially $8.33 on top of that per terahash to get them to that. But we'll look at that number here in a little bit. Right now, we'll just leave it at $18 on average for the terahashes, depending where they come in at. We're looking at currently, we'll look at it at the 5 cent mark. We'll take a look at it where that actually comes in at as far as the ROI is concerned. A couple of other things that we're taking into account here. I'm guessing that the network hash rate is going to increase about 2.5% per month going forward in the first year that they're in. Then we're looking at approximately the year after that, year 2, 2%, year 3, 1.5%, and then year 4, 1%. And the reason for that is as the network hash rate increases to a higher numbers, You don't need as much of a percentage gains to have a huge impact on growth-wise, right? It's the same thing with Bitcoin. Eventually, Bitcoin's going to be going down as far as the percentage gains each year as the value increases, okay? So that's kind of the same thinking behind this. Now, as far as Bitcoin price, this is based on historical data that I was able to pull from previous cycles, and I'm just guessing here. Don't know for a fact this is going to happen, but this is just a guess, educated guess, you could say, that Bitcoin's going to go up this year about 5.5% per month. It could go up much higher than that. We don't know. I'm guessing that Bitcoin will be possibly at towards the end of the year around 36,000, 37,000 potentially, before we get into the bull run right before the halving event, which is only now, 14 months away. And then we're going 15% up after that to possibly get us at the end of 2024 to about 200,000 or somewhere in there. We may reach it somewhere in that time frame, but then potentially start falling after that, right? And then year 3 is where we get into our bear market again, where we possibly could fall another 8.4% per month, kind of like we did in 2022. So we would come back down to price about 67,000 or 69,000. And then year 4, we would start that cycle again where we're getting closer to the halving event and we're possibly going to be going into a bull run again. So those are kind of the assumptions that were going on here, okay? All the numbers here in the red can be updated, changed as we want. And then everything else is pretty much static the way we want it. Now, one other thing that I took into account was with them possibly being done in June or May, June timeframe, somewhere around there, that they're probably not going to get their miners installed until that time. So I adjusted the network hash rate and the halving event being about only 10 months away from that. So we're looking at, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and then we're going into possibly March sometime when the halving event happens. So we're about 10 months away from it. So at that point, the amount of daily BTC rewarded to the miners is cut in half to only 450 from the 900 that they're getting a day right now. Now, they're only getting a percentage of it based on how much they're actually hashing, right? Okay. So I hope you guys understand that. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. I'll try to explain as best I can on how I came up with all of this, okay? So with all that explanation out of the way, I believe they're on the average of about 5 cents per kilowatt hour. At least that's what I've heard. We can look at the 5 cents. We'll look at the 4.5 if they're closer to the 4.5 also, what that actually entails. So with just the miners themselves, the cost on those will take them about 15 months based on this potentially becoming true if it happens. It could happen a little bit faster depending where Bitcoin goes this year and then into next year as well. But right now you can see here that for the first 10 months while they're mining, they're basically paying off the machines quite nicely. And then towards the 10th month, once we get into the halving event, that gets cut in half. And then you can see that line being extended out even a little bit longer. So instead of taking them only about 12 months, if we didn't have the halving event or something like that, we would now are at 15 months. It's still not too bad. We're at 14 and a half, 15 months to break even on those miners. And that's including, that is, I believe, let me see here, revenue minus electricity, 74. We're using that number here, net revenue. Net revenue. Yes, I believe we are, let me see, that's for 30 days. Yeah, times 30 days. So we're basing that on 30 days a month roughly. And that is their revenue, their break-even point after electricity. So electricity is accounted for this. And that's, like I said, 15 months for them to break even on that. So that wouldn't be too bad. Now, if things stay this way with price going to where I have it here, at the end of the 4 years, they would make approximately 137 million on those machines and about a 400% return on investment in 48 months, potentially, if things work out this way. Now, with Bitcoin, we just don't know. It could go down some more this year. We could be at 15,000 by the end of the year. We just don't know. This is just based on these kind of assumptions, okay? Now, so that's at 5 cents. At 4.5 cents, we're looking at a return on investment in about 13 months, roughly 13 to 14 months, and a return on investment profit of 422% with 145 million potentially profit from these machines, right? It also depends on, well, it really depends on where Bitcoin price goes, right? So that's kind of what we're looking at right now for them. So that wouldn't be too bad. So that at least they would break even within the first year and a half roughly on those machines. So that's not too bad, okay? if this all works out. Now, if we add in also the cost of the facility, which comes out to be about $8.33 added per terahash, we are looking at, so that's going to be what, $26.33 per terahash. Now you can see things getting a little bit longer to break even on it. Yep. Okay, so right now, with the building, with the build out of the 50 megawatts and the miners at $18, we're looking at potentially being a return on investment of 19 to 20 months. And then we're looking at a 48-month return on investment of 240% and 121 million in revenue and profit potential from it. And that's at 5 cents. At 4.5 cents, if they're closer to that, we're looking at still 18 months for return on investment on those and about 256% in profit at 48 months and profit potential of 129 million on that, right? So if things work out this way, which would be great if they did, I don't know how accurate this is going to be going forward, but this is just kind of an assumption that we're looking at. What could the potential be on it? If you guys think there's a better way of looking at it, looking at the numbers on this as far as what they could generate in the next 4 years from this. Now, this is just on this facility that they're upgrading, the 50 megawatts. They still have to get another 200 megawatts added on to get to the 16 exahash that they do want to get to, but it could be a lot of revenue. One of the things that I wanted to do, but I didn't get a chance to do, was take a look at how much Bitcoin they would be actually mining at, 8.5, potentially exahash at that time in the beginning, at the start, and towards the end of the 4 years, because I think it's going to be a pretty big, sizable difference in that. But maybe in another video we'll do that if you guys want. But yeah, other than that, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys happy with the release that they provided for their growth? Are you not happy with it? Let me know down in the comments below. And like I said, yeah, pretty easy video today. Okay, I think that's it. Spreadsheet is going to be available to my Patreon members as always. Thank you everyone there. Thank you so much for you guys watching. Love you all. Hope you guys have a great night, and I'll see you guys in the next one.